The story usually goes like this. A long, long time ago on a peaceful day, the dreaded Demon King invaded, thrusting the world into chaos. Yet from the shadows emerged an enigmatic hero, seemingly destined for this pivotal moment. During the final battle between the Demon King and the hero sacrificed himself, defeated the Demon King, and saved the world. The Demon King, defeated, sank into the depths of the underworld, destined for a slumber, and would one day return. I will add this cliché sentence that you have all heard 1,000 of times. The world became peaceful, and the hero have become a legend. I don't know about the author, but this cliché story of the demon lord and the hero will keep repeating itself forever. The demon who lost from the first war descended into the demonic realm, carrying with them the broken soul of the very first demon king. After placing it into a new body, the demonic realm concentrated all its energy into one individual for a century, resurrecting the new demon king once again. The demon realm thought that they're no heroes anymore, letting them to finally take over the world. But damn, another damn hero showed up, so Demon Realm lost again. And then again, the Demon Realm resurrected another Demon King using a span of 100 years. And another damn hero showed up, and the Demon Realm lost again. And then again, the Demon Realm resurrected another Demon King, and then another damn hero showed up, and the Demon Realm lost again. This cycle repeated 665 times, a whooping 66,580 years. Right now, the story of the hero saving the world is a way too obvious cliché. Those moments from sorrow to safety, where people always hope that the hero would show up again when the time comes. Meanwhile, in the underworld, the demon realm promised to themselves that this will be the final last one. The demonic realm, home to millions of creatures, poured all its energy and resurrected 666th Demon King. If he were to be born, the new Demon King would surely be able to slaughter the hordes of warriors. He would crush the vile insects of the despicable surface world with a flick of his finger. His name was Demiurgos, the 666th, the bringer of despair to all humans on Earth. That day he opened his eyes, and that day also, he decided to ditch all of his responsibility. It took only a day for the dreamlike aspirations of the demonic realm to turn into despair. Back to the present. "Your Majesty, something terrible has happened!" cried a high-ranking demon with numerous tentacles, delivering news of impending dread. He was a being devoted at serving Demiurgos, the 666th. The high-ranking demon knelt before the former Demon King, tentacles outstretched, delivering the ominous news that Demiurgos, the 666th Demon Lord, freshly awakened from the awakening egg, had left the Demon King's castle. The news provoked the former Demon Lord, who loomed over the kneeling demon with the regal aura of a king, his wrath palpable in the tensed atmosphere. The kneeling demon, trembling, relayed the unsettling news. "Demiurgos has left a letter saying he's quitting as the Demon King." The former Demon Lord, enraged, demanded, "What the hell are you saying?" Urging him to speak, the terrified demon finally confessed, "He has run away." The former Demon Lord, in sheer disbelief, repeated, "What?" The demonic realm, who have been eagerly awaiting the birth of a new Demon King, was plunged into chaos in an instant. Demiurgos, now standing in front of Arcoma Royal Castle, gazed at the human world with a peculiar fondness, except for one element: a jeweled holy cross, a symbol of heaven and the antithesis of the demonic realm. At that very moment, the knights guarding the castle entrance advanced, disdain in their voices as they labeled Demiurgos a country bumpkin for daring to approach the gate of the royal palace. Demiurgos lowered his gaze to inspect himself, wondering if it because of his clothes or his face. "Country bumpkin, what are you lingering for? You, tell me your name." The guards spoke harshly, their words laced with contempt, as if their spears were ready to strike at a moment's notice. Realizing the weight of his title, he refrained from introducing himself as Demiurgos, the 666th. Uttering it sparked hatred from everyone, cursed as he was. He strategically selected a handful of letters, presented himself as Deus, a name that directly translate to God. Suddenly, a figure approached, admonishing him for fervently using the name of an ancient god. "Have you forgotten that this is the capital of the Verde Kingdom? I'll forgive your ignorance if it was unintentional, so get lost right away," declared Count Brau, the captain of the guards. Count Brau's stern warning fell on deaf ears. Deus remained defiant, unyielding in the face of the captain's warning. Out of the blue, Deus casually questioned the captain of the guards about the strength of the Verde Kingdom. The seemingly innocent inquiry, however, ignited a spark of anger within Count Brau, who felt the very fabric of the kingdom he served was being insulted. In a moment of audacity, Deus, standing before Count Brau, provocatively asked, "The Verde Kingdom is strong enough to make me its king, right?" His question hung in the air, challenging the very foundation of the kingdom's might. The audacious inquiry further fueled the tension, leaving an ominous undertone to the unfolding events. Count Brau, consumed by anger, fiercely drew his sword. The blade glinted ominously as tensions reached a boiling point, setting the stage for a potentially explosive turn of events. Schwack! Count Brau's head burst in a chilling display, blood scattering in every direction. A simple yet bone-chilling moment that sent a shudder down the spines of all witnesses. The aftermath unfolded in eerie mystery. What happened or how it happened, no one knew, except for Deus. The guards were denied the privilege of comprehension as their heads twitched and exploded, a horrifying sequence that left an unsettling void. As the massacre unfolded, Deus watched with a satisfied smile, a sinister observer reveling in the chaos he had orchestrated. The remaining guards, paralyzed by the grotesque display, trembled in terror. With an eerie grace, Deus, like a proficient conductor, elegantly swung his hand, causing the heads of the terrified guards to explosively rupture, a macabre symphony of destruction echoing through the haunted air. Perched atop the wall, two archers unleashed their arrows, targeting Deus's head. Yet, a mysterious shield materialized, intercepting the projectiles and safeguarding him from the lethal aim. The air crackled with an eerie force as the thwarted assault heightened the tension. The unfolding scene accentuated his dominant beauty as a man. His eyes, radiant with power, locked onto the two archers, a gaze that alone seemed to detonate their minds, resulting in the gruesome spectacle of their heads exploding. The juxtaposition of his captivating appearance and the horrifying display of lethal authority created an unsettling aura, blurring the lines between attraction and terror. "Arise!" A grotesque spectacle unfurled, lifeless bodies ascending in eerie unison, limbs contorted to form an inverted, morbid cross. The air thickened with dread as an ominous voice declared, "And welcome your unholy monarch!" The ghastly procession, a haunting triangle, oozed rivulets of blood, staining the path to the castle gate. "Honor my stride with your sacrificial streams," he intoned, relentlessly advancing, each step imprinted in their blood-soaked trail. Once more the chilling command echoed, "Consecrate this cadaver's ascent with the very tears of your souls!" The air resonated with malevolence as the ritual of horror unfolded. All members of the Knights, excluding those on vacation, gathered inside the royal palace. An unprecedented enemy had appeared. The enemy appeared out of nowhere, suddenly aiming a sword at the heart of the kingdom. The tense soldier eagerly awaits behind a door. As silence seems to envelop the palace, the stone door suddenly explodes into hundreds of pieces. Behind reveals the silhouette of Demiurgos, the 666th. He spoke, "Use your screams as a trumpet for me." Suddenly, a deafening scream filled the castle hall. It is coming from all the soldiers, as of their very soul is tormenting them. Deus was fascinated in the horror he'd unleashed, but an unsettling shift occurred as a voice pierced the malevolence. "The almighty creator of this world, the virtuous, our God!" A knight, untouched by Deus's spell, materialized, surrounded by an eerie glow, his golden armor resonating with a divine aura. "In the trial of darkness, guide us with the light of the bright truth, and may we emerge victorious," the knight fervently prayed, prevail against death, and let truth triumph over deceit." Drawing his radiant sword, gleaming like the morning sun, he implored, "Please destroy the evil before me and grant me the power to defeat it." The air crackled with anticipation as the clash between darkness and divinity escalate. The knight, engulfed in a golden aura, raises his sword defiantly. Deus sneers, taunting, "'S that the so-called aura?" sneers Deus. "Are you the so-called blood I've heard about?" The knight, marked with a cross tattoo and hair aglow in holy light, accuses Deus of wielding dark magic. "It is unbelievable that you've breached the castle's defense," he growls, fingers tightening around his sword. "You won't pass me, for I bear the sacred blessing of God." With an unyielding resolve, he charges forward, declaring, "I may not be of pure blood, but I will vanquish you." His sword slices through the air, causing a cataclysmic explosion that echoes through the castle. Yet Deus nonchalantly blocks the devastating attack with just 2 fingers, a smirk dancing on his lips. "Is it my turn now?" he mocks, eyes gleaming with malice. Deus, with a devious smile, utters a sinister prayer to heaven, asking God to end the night. The knight was left in disbelief. Fear intensifies as Deus, eyes now radiant like a serpent's, asked, "Which one of us will God save?" Without a moment's notice, Deus pierced the knight's chest, cruelly seizing his heart. Deus, face twisted with malice, warns the knight never to utter God's name again in front of him. The knight, face visage of terror, gasping for breath, uttered no. Deus replied yes, relishing the fear in the knight's eyes, and then ruthlessly crushes his heart, extinguishing the last flicker of resistance. Deus advanced into the king's chamber, a formidable assembly of knights guarding the stairway with an array of weapons, battle axes, swords, spears. Behind this protective barrier, the king sat regally on his throne. Whispers amongst the knights ensued, questioning the presence of a lone figure. "We are the final line of defense. Defend this place with your life," they declared in unison. The king, fixing Deus with a stern gaze, demanded to reveal his identity. Recognizing the elderly figure as the castle's ruler, Deus chose to propose a conversation. "How dare you address the king so inappropriately?" protested one knight. In response, Deus casually flicked his finger, extinguishing the life of the unfortunate knight. With a serious expression, he challenged if is there anyone else who wishes to voice their complaint. The knights, paralyzed by absolute power, decided to remain silent. Deus then ascended to the king using bat-like wings, radiating a crimson glow and leaving a purplish shadowy trail. He halted abruptly before the throne, causing a gust of wind. With a sinister chuckle, he declared, "Shall we commence our conversation?" The king, desperate and pleading, offered Deus anything, money, authority, as if begging for his life. Deus, exuding majesty and intimidation with a teasing smile, demanded the kingdom. The king flatly refused, deeming it an absurd and impossible demand. Deus, seemingly bored, casually spoke, questioning the king's expectations and issuing a grim ultimatum: hand over the kingdom or face death. Deus threatened to seize control by killing the king, taking his family, and claiming the kingdom as his own. The king was startled by such statement. He came to an abrupt conclusion that Deus is after his daughter. Deus, puzzled, wondered why the conversation took this unexpected turn, clarifying that he wasn't even aware that the king had a daughter. Ignoring Deus, the king passionately asserted that his daughter, April, was off-limits. She is a source of pride for the Horsa continent and the jewel of the Verde royal family. Deus, maintaining his stance, repeated that he had no interest in the daughter. His sole desire was the kingdom. Enraged, the king, with intense expression, confronted Deus, questioning why he desired something that was not rightfully his. "Deus," questioned the king, asking if the kingdom truly belonged to him. He challenged the king to justify his claim, making him realize the fragility of his position as a king. Cold sweat dripped down the king's face as he protested that, of course, the kingdom belonged to the royal family. Since when? With predatory eyes, Deus compelled him to carefully choose his next words. Continuing his words, Deus pressed on, insinuating that the king, too, had taken something from someone eventually. He questioned the essence of a royal family, suggesting it was time for the long-reigning family to relinquish power and allow him to ascend as the new king. Undeterred, the king rejected Deus's suggestion and issued a threat. He questioned whether the Sanctus Maximus Populi, the highest authority of the people, would ever acknowledge Deus as a rightful king. Deus disregarded the significance of the Sanctus Maximus Populi before unleashing a powerful energy, creating shockwaves that violently exploded the palace. The once beautiful place, now transformed into a hellish underworld path, everything burned black. The king and his knights, now turned into coal statues, revealed their absence of pure blood, resulting to them being powerless against Deus's onslaught. Observing the burnt statue of the king, Deus expressed boredom and disappointment. He looked up at the sky, addressing God, and voiced his dissatisfaction with the lack of preparation from those who opposed him, deeming the encounter boring. With no response from the heavens, Deus acknowledged that he had to wait for a pure blood to awaken, revealing that there were 20 more years to go before his usual descent to the human world as a true demon king. Lost in thought, Deus was abruptly interrupted. In the midst of contemplation, Deus turned his head towards the screen. There, he found a girl standing, tears streaming down her face. She resembled a beauty from a painting, adorned in an expensive imperial dress that accentuated her allure. Bewildered, she inquired, "What on earth? Who are you?"